Great. So in 7.1, we looked at the imperial or English system. In 7.2, we're going to look at the metric system, specifically at length. And so the metric system, I like the metric system because it's based on the number 10. It's also the system we use in science. And officially, Canada uses the metric system, although you may notice that we don't always use it. If you think, what's your weight? Most people will answer in pounds. The weight in the metric system, though, would be in kilograms, which will be on your driver's license. So we tend to use both in Canada, but the metric system is kind of the universal measurement system for science, and used by many countries around the world. So what I want to do today is just give you a sense of the different measurements and sort of just a sense of what each would be. So we've got the meter is the basic unit for length, and we'll be talking more about that. The gram is the basic unit for mass or kind of like weight, and the liter is the basic unit for volume. So a meter, when I try to imagine what a meter looks like, I tend to imagine a meter stick, which you might have seen in a classroom. Another way to measure it would be the distance from the tip of your nose to the tip of your middle finger if your arm was fully outstretched. A room might be somewhere around 6 meters long. Our classroom's probably, I would say, more close to 8 or 10 meters long. A building lot might be around 30 meters wide, and a fairly tall fence might be around 2 meters tall. A millimeter, well, milli means 1,000. So a millimeter is 1/1000th of a meter. So in other words, 1,000 millimeters make up 1 meter. So if you have a good meter stick, you'll often have very fine lines denoted on it. Each of those fine lines is a millimeter. It's approximately the thickness of a dime, or you can think of like a small paper clip. So here's a paper clip, and the width of that paper clip might be 7 millimeters wide. Okay, so things to measure in millimeters are going to be quite small, like a paper clip or the thickness of a dime. A centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. So 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Okay, if you have a standard ruler, that's how I tend to think about it. I think of my standard ruler, which is about 30 centimeters long. 1 centimeter might be approximately the width of a little finger, a pinky finger. A small paperback book, not a textbook, a small paperback book might be 10 centimeters wide, or a playing card is 8 centimeters long. So those are all things you might want to measure in centimeter. Think of the word cent, we used it in percent, meaning 100. So centi is 1/100th. Okay, a kilometer is 1,000 meters. So you might measure kilometers for distances between towns. The distance from New York to Boston is about 338 kilometers. You might go, if you went on a road race, you might go 10 kilometers or maybe 5 kilometers. Most people could walk 5 kilometers in about an hour. So if you were trying to measure the width of your fingernail, which measurement would you want to use? Millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer? So there's a couple of answers that would work here. You might want to measure it in centimeters because we said the width of your pinky finger is about 1 centimeter. Or if you wanted a more precise measurement, you might want to do it in millimeters. If you were measuring the distance from Nelson to Trail, which measurement would you likely use? Here, you would probably use a kilometer.